What's going on? Was gonna go to the movies tonight, but I seen this instead. That's amazing. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. What's going on, everybody? Happy Tuesday. hmm Happy Tuesday. I see my glasses fogging a bit right there. It's hot. Well, you don't gotta sleep this time. How's the new StarCraft, Pat? Pat got a boat just like mine, but burgundy, I believe. 188T StarCraft. Cool, look at this. Question right off the start. Marco, from guiding slash fishing, what tends to produce the largest pike? Like mid high 40s and 50s. Well, 50s is really, really tough. During open water in a lake, mid lake, sunken island, rocks, cabbage, drop offs. I would say drop offs are probably some of the best. Um, Late season cabbage can be good too, like cabbage in like 8 to 12 feet of water. But those drop offs where you have that are like, um, where it's basically like their spring spawning bay and all that stuff, like just off of it from the edge, from like say 8 to like 20 feet, somewhere in there, your first major break, that produces a lot of like the biggest fish I believe for pike. Anyways, like I don't know, it's so funny because I've got it for 20 years and I feel like every year that I do it or I've done it, I've kind of like learned a little bit more and more. And the last couple of years, I started to fish like contours a lot more and started to score some pretty big ones for sure. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd say cabbage and drop offs. Not so much mid lake, sunken islands, etc., anything like that. So, yeah. Hey, Dason, it's going good. It's going good. How's it going with you, my friend? Darren, Handy, Travis, Tyler, nice to hear from you too. Hey, Clayton, how's it going? It's going good. Got a new camera? No, I don't have a new camera. It's the lighting. This camera is actually really good, but it's the lighting. I've noticed like when I do these live chats in spring and summer, I've got a window right behind me, and it's like the natural light just comes in and just gives you such a good complexion. That's sarcasm, but yeah, it's pretty sharp. This the web camera is awesome. So yeah. Baker's Narrows versus Viking Lodge. What's your favorite? They're both awesome. I love it up in that area. Viking's probably more centralized, where you don't have to trailer as far. But if you're just going to fish like just at the pap, obviously Baker's Narrows is a really good choice. They're both really good areas. And cabins, I haven't had a bad experience personally at either one of them yet. So Clayton, how have you been since we last chatted? I've been great. I think it was a week ago we had a live chat. Carter McKenna fished in a tournament this past weekend at Lake of the Prairies. I just kind of hung out. I really didn't want to fish in the tournament and I just wanted to just chill and relax. So I just kind of was there for some moral support and hanging out, and took Cindy and Ray fishing one of the days for a little bit. And yeah, so I've been good. Things are good. Life's good. Got videos cranking out, and still filming and editing more as we go. So are you going to have a one versus one with Mac? I'm sure we'll probably do something as Mac's video his video skills are growing. I think he's set up now enough to do like a one versus one where we can do that. So yeah, I like that name. Stupid. Sup, bro? Sup with you? Are you going to do a deep video this season? Possibly. I'm not sure yet. I was planning to get the deep early season here, but honestly, the weather's just been like gross. So it's like I've had any days where it's like 3 or 4 days nice where I could go on a trip somewhere. I was like only had like one day here, one day there. So I've done a lot of fishing around home within a couple hours, and that way I could just fish for the day, come home, edit, get some work done around the yard, etc. Whenever it's like gross out, that's when I usually like take my time to like do yard work or anything like that. So I do want to try to make it to Deef yet, possibly in August. I go up in a couple days for a small little guiding stint, and then I'll be back to just film for the rest of the summer. So pretty stoked. Biggest fish of the year so far, I think it's just a 29-inch walleye. I think I've maybe caught some like low 30-inch pike while I was fishing for walleye, but a 29-inch walleye is the biggest right now. FG Not Adam is amazing. What are your big fishing adventures planned for the summer? I don't really know yet. I think probably a camping trip at Last Mountain with Cindy for sure. On the first week of July, possibly. I think. Um, and then from there, I don't know. In August, I want to go fish some new pike lakes up in northern Manitoba that I've never fished before. I really want to do like a northern pike tour this year, whether it's in August or in September. Maybe it's going to be in September. I'm not sure, but I want to go like just chase big gators for a little while. So, yeah. Are you still employed at my lodge? I am still employed at the lodge. It's just a very short season for me this year. Fly fish at all? I do like to fly fish, but I like to fish. Um, I like to fish for bigger fish, pike and lake trout. I love like predator fish. So a 9 to a 12 weight for me. I'm not a big into the smaller fly fishing for stock, or for not necessarily for stock trout, but for river fish, etc. So yeah. What do you think of the new uncut video? So stoked he's putting out new videos. It was really good. Today felt like an Aaron video. It was really good, and that's the Aaron that I know, where he's just comical, funny. That's literally Aaron, to a T. It was really good. It was really fresh and good to see. And it was also fun that I like this. He's always got like when he does a video, he always like not necessarily comes at somebody, but like he has like a motive for it, right? And that was the whole bass fishermen, the people that always complain about forward facing sonar, but then yet will go and bed fish, right? So I know very little about bass fishing, so I don't get involved in that at all. Although I will have a bass video coming out on Father's Day, as well as a giveaway on Instagram with Catch and Cook. So watch for the Instagram post this Sunday on Father's Day with Catch and Cook. I got some good stuff to give away. Snail Lake this winter? Not too sure. Not too sure. Keep in mind, guys, if I don't see your question, feel free to bring it back up again at the bottom once it kind of goes through the screen, right? So I'm out on the North Sask River right now with my son catching walleyes with pickerel rigs. That's awesome. Fishing and watching the live chat at the same time. That's deadly. I almost set up my laptop outside and did it on the deck. I'll do that next time for sure. Clayton and the Bassmaster. I get smoked in the Bassmaster, 100%. Those guys can fish. Is live imaging a game changer? Not. I would say it's definitely. It opens your eyes to a lot more different ways to fish, instead of like the whole just like for walleye. I'm thinking in particular where you're just fishing below the boat for the most part. It opened your eyes up for other things out there. So even when I went bass / walleye fishing this past couple days, and I found some walleye out further off of this like reef that were suspended, and I had confidence. And once I were there, I didn't even look at the live scope. I was just fishing them, right? So it gave you more ideas, or gave myself more ideas how to fish them anyway. So it's definitely I like it. I have a statement about forward facing sonar in a video that won't come out for probably a week and a half or so, that it just talks about why I like it in my videos and why I use it personally. And yeah, so Aaron trolling the forward facing sonar haters was great. It was so fun to watch. I did watch the new tour level gold episode today. And I'm very honest when it comes to this kind of stuff. I really like the tour level gold stuff. I found today's video really boring, and I don't know if it's the fact of because they were fishing a body of water that the regulations are just ridiculous or whatnot. But I found today's video like really boring. I was tying some flies in the garage, and I turn on the TV and I'll watch it, and usually I find myself like glued to it. And honestly, right now, I think I'd have to like go back and watch it again for this one. Like that being said, I love the series. I just found this episode kind of boring. So, are you going to make a video up at Wollaston after you're done with your clients? That would be awesome to see you in those waters catching the giants. No plans for anything like that. The road up there, if any people don't know, the road like up there can be so treacherous on your gear. Even if you're just not even towing a boat, even just with your truck, it's like 450 kilometers, so 300 miles of gravel road, and I'm just not taking my boat up there. So I don't have any plans to film anything up there at all. One day maybe, but I've never made a video up there, and we'll see. Will happen one day, possibly. Although I have a tough time driving by Reindeer Lake. I think that's probably where I'd end up going. Going to Kenora next week. Where are the big pike going to be? They're going to be in the water. I have no idea about Kenora. I'd say for the most part, focus on your water temps like 58 degrees to 64 degrees. Probably still going to be in the back bays for the most part, I would say. Yeah, that's now when I say back bays, I mean like just like away from like open water structure and whatnot. So finally pulled the trigger on a 126 SV and live scope. Thankfully, my wife is obsessed with walleyes, as I am. What Dakota battery do you run for your setup for ice fishing? How long runtime do you get? So a 12-inch screen, you're going to want probably at least a 46 amp hour battery. I run a 46 amp hour battery. It doesn't fit in the shuttle though. So you have to go a different brand if you're going to try to fit it into a shuttle, but I keep mine away from it. And I just, because I use my batteries for like different charging methods and stuff like that for filming and whatnot. I run a 23 amp hour lots for like, it'll do a 23 amp hour on a 12-inch screen will do about 6 to 7 hours. So you can get away with a 23 amp hour, but I'd go bigger with a 12-inch screen though, for sure, for ice fishing. Like I'd go to at least like probably like 40 amp hour battery or bigger. Me and Stag say hello on the riverbank. Well, hello, Stag. Stag, you'll be really funny, especially if Mike's filming. You just push him in the river. If he has his life jacket, if he's tied off, and if it's safe. Only push him in the river if it's safe. But just give Mike a little push into the river. I'd say, Mike, you push Stag into the river, but we know that wouldn't happen. Buy forward-facing sonar because it's awesome. I spent $5,000 to see my lure on his screen 65 feet in front of me. That's pretty much sums it up. Yep. You pretty much summed it up. That's exactly what it is. Oh, that's hilarious. What's the better catchphrase? Oh my goodness, or Clayton, you donkey. I think Clayton, you donkey. Oh my goodness. I say oh my goodness, but that one's probably comes from like Aaron. I still remember that video he did at Clearwater, his lake trout redemption, and where he was like, oh my goodness, and that's to me, oh my goodness is still Aaron's line, but obviously more than one person can say it. So Clayton, you donkey. That's it. I'm just gonna get a shirt that says you donkey. I use those tips for cranking. I finally caught some great fish last weekend. That's deadly. I love cranking. Cranking is something I've just been getting into the last couple of years, and it's so much fun. You, Aaron, Jay, and gang are all wonderful fish content creators. Enjoy all your stuff, Clayton. I appreciate that very much, Charles. I feel the same way with like Aaron and Jay's content. It's very good. Aaron's definitely an inspiration for sure for just seeing that this was possible to go do it. So I owe that man a lot of gratitude in that sense for just getting to where I am today, just seeing like literally that it's possible. And he always helped me out with any questions or anything like that I ever had, and always gave a positive or positive feedback to like companies that I wanted to work with, etc. I just bring my live bundle on the boat and use the Arc Lab setup. Super easy setup. I can use it anywhere on the boat. Yeah, the Arc Lab stuff on the boat is really, really good, especially where they have like the shuttle that can be like locked down somewhere. It's a great option for sure. And maybe I'll probably have a setup like that at some point. Just the fact where I'd like to run more live scopes in the boats and I have somebody fishing with me, they have something to kind of focus on as well. That's the hardest thing. When you get one live scope, the next thing is you're going to want is another live scope, because you can only like point it in one direction for like one fisherman. So all of a sudden, buddy over there is like, so which way should I cast? Okay, which way should I cast? Which way should I cast? Oh, it's kind of funny. Nice drawing, a nice drawing behind you, fan mail. You betcha. Right there from Emery. I'm not going to call her Avery this time. Was Carter in the Walleye Classic? If he was, where did he place? Yes, he fished the Lake of the Prairies Walleye Classic. He was 11th place after the first day, and him and McKenna had a tough second day and ended up 52nd. That's how close that tournament is. Like, you can have a little bit of a slow day and you just go straight down the standings. So last year he finished 22nd in the tournament, and this year was looking like he was going to improve, and they had a tough day on the last day, which can happen. It's like your fish can leave, right? And you're scrambling, and 8 hours seems like a lot of time, but like knowing this from like filming lots of days around 8-12 hours, 8 hours isn't that long to figure stuff out on the water. And if stuff starts to change on you, Yeah, so it was a really good learning experience for both of them. Odds of you and Tom Boley doing a collaboration for Acme in the future? I would say at some point I'd probably fish with Tom for sure. I'd like to get him up here and like have him fish Last Mountain or something like that because he's a really good walleye angler, and I'd love to see him crack some big walleyes. The only thing is, once he fishes like Last Mountain Lake or something like that, he might never want to go back and fish his walleye lakes again. But yeah, I'd like to get him out on a body of water like that and let him have some fun or whatever because this we have some big walleyes up here. I'm sure there's big walleyes down there too, but yeah, he I'm sure we'll fish together one day for sure. What's your favorite lure or method for smallies? I know nothing about smallies, so I'll just go what I did recently on smallies. I was using the jerk bait. I was using the new Maverick, the Maverick 110 from Rapala. That was so crazy. Like, yeah. Send Bully to Hecla. Hecla would be good. Hecla, the only thing is like I'm sure there's places you can go where you get away from the boats, but I see all these like videos or pictures where there's like 10, 15 boats lined up and that's all you can see. I rather go where there's less fish and kind of fish alone. And maybe it's just because of the fact where it can be a little bit embarrassing when you're talking to a camera all day, right? Where you're like showing a fish up and talking to yourself or whatever. You know, people tend to make fun of the camera guys, the camera boats, and all that stuff, right? Like, oh, look at that loser over there filming a video. I could do that, but I don't want to. You know, it's just I hate. I like being alone on the water, so I'd rather go where there's less people. I do that lots, like even early season on Last Mountains. Like I went where there was no other boats a couple times, even though I know I could have went and fished some areas where there were a bunch of big fish hammering. It was just like I just want to get away and go do my own thing. I love learning, obviously, right? And if there's 10, 20 boats there, well, that spot's already figured out and known. I want to go try something completely different that's not known. I love watching your ice fishing, bro. You catch some big ass fish. Definitely had a few big fish on the channel for sure for ice fishing over the future or over the past, and I got some. I got one big one for sure coming for first ice as well. I'm pretty excited for. It's gonna be. It's so hard not to like edit that video and put it out, but I got a fish that you see Clayton get like Clayton excited. It was pretty cool. My favorite walleye bite is on a slip bobber. Can't beat watching a bobber slowly going down. Slip bobber is fun. There's something about that, right? Just watching the bobber, or you turn away for a second and you look back and you're like, "Where's my bobber? Where's my bobber? Oh, there it is." And you just get like, ah, and then you're like, you look long enough, it's like, okay, my bobber must be down, right? Like, it's the whole same with like tip ups too. Don't stare at the flag, or your flag will never go up, right? Like, as soon as you stare at your slip bobber forever, it's like it goes on forever. What's the deepest you can troll with lead core? Normally, I don't have a downrigger. I want to troll Lakers. I haven't done the lead core for Lakers, but I don't downrig for Lakers. I use a three-way weight or a clip-on weight. I use a lot of like a 6-ounce clip-on weight, and that's like one of the best ways to catch big Lakers. I'm sure downrigging works too, but I like the control of the clip weights that you're on your reel. You can move up, you can reel the reel down, let out line, etc. So look up a clip weight. Clayton Schick, is there a specific lure for pickerel? You mean walleye? If so, then what it is? I can't just buy it into thinking it might work. I was hoping maybe you might know what might work for pickerel. Walleye. Let's not call a pickerel a walleye. Honestly, Tyler, just go through my videos. Like anything you see that I'm using in a video and catching fish on works. I've never taken a fish and taken a lure and put it in the lure for a photo or something like that. Like if I'm using it in the video, like I'm catching fish with, and it's yeah, big pike coming to a TV near you this winter, 100%. When do you guys usually get safe where you are? I'm not sure what that meant. Maybe safe ice. I'm not sure. Latest in the year you've ever been on the ice. Mid-April, end of April once in northern Manitoba, like April 25th or 26th, something like that, I think. Yeah. I'm going to be at Viking Lodge next week. How about you? I am not, unfortunately. My safe ice usually comes somewhere in November, mid-November-ish, usually. Why are we talking about ice fishing already? It's June. It's June 11th. In 2 days, I'll be 42 years old. Oh my goodness. Not good. What's your favorite trolling bait? Probably early season. I like that Rip Shad 200. The Reef Runner 700, I think it was. The 700 or the 800? I have to look at my video which one it is. But they have a new one, the 900, the Reef Runner 900 Stalker Junior. That one I think is going to be like epic. I think. Any vintage fishing gear, like hand-me-downs. I have some cool stuff I bring out one day. I have one. It's not like really vintage, but I have a raw. Vintage is like vintage. I should rethink that. I do have a rod I want to show off one day. It was given me by somebody that brought me up in the fishing world. But my Papa Pete, my mom's dad had that really old reel. I should find that one day. I know I still have it somewhere. That's probably the only thing I really have. June 13th, you share a day with my wife. Yes, sir. June 13th. Reef Runner, totally underrated baits. The Reef Runners are so good. And now, honestly, I think the Reef Runners, I prefer more that they're like, they come hand tuned. Before, I know I always used to use Reef Runners a lot, but it felt like every one you pull out a package, you have to like literally tune like instantly. So it changed a lot. The Reef Runners and the Bandits are probably my two favorite trolling baits, I'd say. I'd probably, for the most part, yeah. I live in Washington, and this old man that was dying gave me some awesome fly rods, and I'm going to try to go fly fishing. I've never done it before. Well, not awesome that he died, but awesome that he gave you some rods and passed them down to you. So the best advice I can give for the whole fly fishing is do some research on YouTube and get a feel for how to use them and go from there. Fly fishing is an art for sure, and it takes some time to learn, but it's fun once you get it figured out. I've got a Fluger 1893 model made in 1926. That's crazy. Made in 1926. Like that's a long time ago. That's almost 100 years ago. 98 years. Wow, that's an old rod. 38-inch Laker from shore this year. No way. That's deadly. Apparently, Cisco's available for bait up north for some reason. I guess it's going to be a chartreuse tube jig. It's all you need. Chartreuse, baby. It's all you need. All you need. Clayton, how can I avoid my lure from getting untangled or tangled? Untangled with my dad's fishing line happens every time. How can I fix that? If you're trolling, a lot of tangles come from turns, and a lot of the turns, say if you turn to the right, like this, or you're turning, it looks to the left instead to the right. Say if you're turning to the left, and your one rod has a more line than your inside rod, it's going to swing over too far, and it's going to catch that inside line. So really try to put like the same amount of line out on each side, or be very cautious of which way you make your turns or anything like that. The second reason for getting tangled would mean you have like a wandering crankbait or something like that that's not tuned, and it's pulling down and coming, under towards the other side. The worst is when you get two of them that wander together, right? Something like that. So those are the worst, your two biggest things for getting tangled. More so probably turning, and your outside line has more line out than your inside line, and yeah, it swings over and it's not good. Do you remember the days when you used mono for everything? I remember when I was younger, for sure. 8-pound trilene, XL trilene, 8-pound trilene. That's all we had, because my parents had pretty much just all walleye fished. So it was like, that's all it was in the house was 8-pound trilene. Sometimes you'd see 6, the odd time you'd see 10, but it was 8-pound trilene. That's it. 8-pound trilene. I hear Viking has a new guide who's pretty good. I don't. Do they get somebody else besides Mac? Mac's great. I use some old school 10-foot graphite rods my dad's made for trolling. That's deadly. The trolling rods are it's graphite. Is it have like a moderate action to it, right? Because it's like for trolling, I find the best thing is like glass rods usually, but if it's a graphite, if it has a good enough moderate action, work. What are your thoughts on some fly fishing for grilling up north? I did some last year on Lake Athabasca. They're unreal big up there. I definitely would like to do some video for fly fishing for grayling, something like that at some point. I can get the grayling are easy to catch compared to like any stream trout out there, right? So that one I'll definitely pull a fly rod out for and use it. But um, Lake Athabasca, I've never been that far up for a lot of years. What's the smallest species of fish you've targeted? Like not necessarily smallest fish you've caught ever, but the average is super tiny. Probably rock bass are like the smallest fish I've ever targeted, I'd say. Have you tried the Tricka rods at all? I have not. No. CSO Carter Reed Exner is in the house. Heading to fish a shallow, weedy lake tomorrow in northern Michigan. Any tips? Are you fishing for pike or for walleye? If you're going to fish for walleye, I would say this time of year, upsize your baits quite a bit and start ripping them through the weeds. Could work very well. I don't fish a lot of weeds in our lakes for walleyes, so I don't have the best tips for you. But walleyes love to hang on the weed edges, so fish the edges, fish on top of them, and yeah, smallies will probably be on the beds. I'm sure the smallies will be on the beds. I went smallie fishing the other day in the ducks, and they weren't spawning yet. They were definitely pre-spawn though, for sure. There are some fat ones. You guys have the invasive, whatever it is, Prussian carp. I know which one you're talking about. There's some that have been found in Saskatchewan, yeah, but not as bad as they are out in Alberta yet. So that one we definitely have to be cautious of. When you headed to Hecla, I think I probably won't make it to Hecla till the fall at this point. Again, I really wanted to get there in the spring, but the weather has just been nasty, like nasty. Thanks, man. I've been following you since you had 9K subs. That's crazy. That feels like a long time ago at this point. Thanks for posting Tour Level Gold. Awesome series, National Walleye Tour, second best tier ice fishing quality. Can't wait to watch the second season. Yeah, they have 3 episodes out now of Tour Level Gold. It's a very good series for sure. When are you coming to Utah with Matt? Send it. I don't know when I'm going to make it to Utah. That's where you are too, Jason, is in Utah. Matt, he's awesome. Let's hear your favorite pike story. I can't tell my favorite pike story yet because I want to save it for the video. I have a video coming out in the spring. That's my favorite pike story. Before that one would probably be one that I've guided with a guest that's no longer with us, unfortunately. He started to come and fish with us at Wollaston in, I want to say 2005. And when he first got there, he could like hardly stand on the boat. Like, I mean, it was like he'd put his legs like way out and he would just like, he was pins and needles, right? He was petrified. And I guided him for like 15 or 16 years total. There was a couple years he didn't come. And I don't know what year it was, but 2016, we're fishing a bay, and by this time, he didn't come with anybody anymore. He just came by himself. And I saw a big fish swim by the boat. We were in the middle of like a sandwich break. And I was like, Joe, cast that swim bait out there. I'm like, I just saw a pretty big one. And I remember like the strike from like far out. I just saw a big flash. And I was like, that looked really long. He fought it. It came to the side of the boat. And when I grabbed it, I looked at him like, Joe, you just got a 50-incher. Like I knew instantly it was 51 inches. It was a giant fish, biggest pike I've still ever put my hands on. And yeah, it was incredible, right? So here's a guy that like hardly ever fished before, right? Just took it up, and 15 years later catches the biggest pike that I've ever touched or guided or anything like that. And I've only guided 4 pike ever over 50 inches, and he happened to get 2 of them. He got another one eventually. About 4 years later, he got a 50.5-incher. So yeah. What the bass go after they can't resist? Worms. Bro, have you ever had any sketchy happen to you when you're out sleeping at night on the ice? No, I've never had anything really sketchy. I've had like where the ice is like crackling and rumbling and whatnot. I've never had anything like sketchy though. Very cautious when it comes to stuff like that. I have a carbon monoxide detector and keep really, cautious of that and whatnot. So yeah. Do you still use your side imaging ever since you have live scope? I do. I actually did a video recently with using it, and I was using it the other day. I'll have a video coming out, I think, as well. I'm not sure when it is. Maybe it might be my next video. I'm not even sure. No, it's not my next video. Where I was using, I still use side. Right now, I use it's called side view. I use it quite a bit, but yeah, yeah, Ned rig too, for sure. I saw Nick asked you or answered you, and then you said I'm asking Clayton. Hey, people like to help Tyler. Remember, Tyler, this is a community. When you ask questions, other people might answer it for you. They have some opinions. It's all good. It's all good. Do you like your Delta as much as your old boat? I like it more. Like honestly, I like it way more. I like that the casting deck's a little bit higher in the front. I'm very happy with it. Like I put it this way, if StarCraft didn't want to do anything with me next year, I'd probably still use this boat for another year. Because I had like kind of like a 3-year deal with them. I think anyway. I didn't really actually have it for sure, but I just told them it was like I'd use this boat for 3 years before I'd explore other options and stuff. And I could see if they don't want to work together, I could see myself using the same boat again. From here, the only other boat I'd consider going to at this point would probably be like a Lund Pro Guide because of like the high deck. But I'm very happy with this boat. Like it's been really good. It's held up too. Like I've took it down some pretty disgusting roads and everything, and everything's handing together. And yeah, my apologies. All good. It's all good. It's all good. Do you still hunt? I do still hunt. I just haven't. I haven't done any hunting for the last 2 years. But this lots to do with just like getting my business up and going hard, and then last year the move to the acreage. But I'll be doing some hunting again this year for sure. This is and probably try to do some filming with it. I wish I would have filmed my last whitetail hunt better. It was so hard. Like, when I first started filming the fishing too, right? Like, it's hard to figure everything out. And the hunting, obviously, you only get one crack at it, right? So it's like with the fish, if I don't do good, well, you can catch 100 fish and you can figure it out. With the deer, it's like I get one shot to make it right. So, um, the guys that film the hunting, I feel like it's on another level to get it done right. You can film a hunting trip and it could just be like whatever, kind of like how I did a hunting video a couple of years ago where it was just put together and whatnot. But yeah, so I'll give you one crack. I'll give you one crack. I'm not scared. I ain't scared of you, boy. When's the next tournament? Probably not to the fall time, I think. I'm pretty sure. In September. I think September. I have a couple different calibers of rifles, but honestly, the one I like the most is my 300 Ultra Mag. I know it's overkill, but I love it because it's just like when I hit it, it's down every time. Any more J vs. Clay videos planned? Nothing's planned right now. Nothing's planned, but at some point. Anyway, I have a rock tumbler now, if you know what that is. I know what a rock tumbler is. You bet, Tyler. I sure do. I do. Would you consider doing a Ned rig video? For 100%. And I actually, if you go through my videos, I've done some Ned rig videos in the past. Actually, I think I was probably one of the first ones on YouTube to do like a Ned rig video for walleyes. Be 3 years ago already for sure, maybe 4. So if you go through there, yeah, it's an older video, but it's in there. Ned rig, I caught like a big carp, pike, walleye, everything on that one. But I've used a Ned rig for quite a bit, and I've used it in videos in the past. And yeah, what length and action for trolling crankbait? I would say a lot's going to depend on your action in terms of your length. If you're going to go shorter, you try to have to go to like a moderate rod action. That being said, I do have one that's like 7'2", I think it is, with a fast action. Then I'm using mono. So a lot of it is you can pretty much use any style of rod for cranking as long as you match your line with it as well. So if you have a fast action rod that's like shorter, use mono so you have to stretch in your mono. One of my favorite rods that I have or I've used before is like a 9-10 foot trolling rod with a moderate action. It's glass. Then you can use braid, and it definitely works because the rod absorbs all the head shakes for it. So I don't have anything that I like prefer where it's like I have to have this length, I have to have this action, etc. I'm still playing with a lot of different things, but the one I've used so far in these videos this year was a 7'2", and it was a fast action. But like I said, I was using mono, 0.5 to 2.5. Trolling, cranking, I'm usually going like 1.6 to 2 mile an hour, I think, for the most part. What kind of outerwear do you use when it's miserable on the boat? Favorite gloves? I don't use gloves on the boat even when it's like nasty out. But the gear I've been using is the Striker brands, and been very happy with that. Very happy with the Striker brands gear. It's good. I have a new adrenaline suit, or which one did I have now? I think I've got the adrenaline suit now. It's a black one, or no, can't remember. Hello, Tigger. Mind giving Owen a shout out? He wants to stay up till the chat's over. Owen, what's going on, buddy? It's awesome. Clayton, are we going to see any kayak fishing? Nothing's in the plan right now for kayaks. I'm sure they say they're untippable. If anybody can tip a kayak and lose all their gear, it's this guy right here. This guy. So no plans for the kayaks right now. She's outside. Yeah, she's outside. Here, Tigger. He got up. He sleeps a lot these days. Oh, here comes Cindy to get Tigger. Where would a person go in Canada for a once in a lifetime trip and species? Once in a lifetime trip, Wollaston Lake Lodge. Go there. You will not be disappointed at all. Should I grab some Kaylin's quarter ounce swim bait and some jerk minnows for Ontario fishing? Yes. No. The jerk minnow, get the 4-inch jerk minnow and the quarter ounce swim bait jigs. I can't believe I haven't used those swim bait jigs before. I've always used the Pendu jig, which works awesome. But those quarter ounce swim bait jigs, holy, I've been loving those. Like, I'm gonna have to get some more. I have some 1/8 ones too that I'm gonna try at some point, but then I'd have to like even go smaller line and stuff. Like usually I use like 10-pound pretty much straight across the board, sometimes 20 for big ripping baits or whatever, but I feel like I have to go to like an 8-pound braid and an 8-pound fluorocarbon lead or something like that. So he doesn't believe us. You're talking about him. I'm talking about you, Owen. In 23 minutes, you have to go to bed though. What boat are you running? I'm looking at an older Lund Pro Guide, 20-foot. Lunds are pricey though. I'm running a StarCraft 188T tiller. I love it. Absolutely love it. Lunds are pricey. Big time. The StarCraft is definitely more affordable. You could get a new StarCraft for what that used Lund probably is. And it's a 188T, but it's 8'10" or 18'10", so it's almost a 19-foot boat. We'll have a little drinky poo here for this super chat. Impossible Erie. Cheers to you. Cheers. How can I avoid the pike from snapping my line? If you have a lot of pike, upsize your fluoro would be the biggest thing, I'd say. If you're in a lake that has a lot of little pike, go to like a 14-pound fluorocarbon. £14. Sorry, I was just checking something. Okay. Yeah. Questions are running out here or what? Usually I have a tough time keeping up with everything, and all of a sudden now, what's the shot? The shot is Fireball. Fireball. Fireball's good. Really good. 115 people. What else you guys got for questions? Jay versus Clay. At some point for sure. Ever fished the Great Lakes? I haven't fished the Great Lakes. I've been close. I fished Nipissing. So been close. Love the lake trout videos. Would love to see some grouper action again. I'd love to fish Florida again, 100%. The Tarpon and Goliath was so much fun. Have you ever fished Tobin Lake? I have, and I have some videos on it for sure. If you go to my channel and go through open water content, there are some Tobin videos. If you go through some of my earliest ice fishing videos ever, they were at Tobin as well, through the ice for walleye. Obviously, I caught like a 12-pounder. It was like I think three videos there in a little series. That's from Tobin. That's going back like 2018ish, I think, though. Come to Minnesota and fish. Win a bong. I can't say that. Winnabogish. There's so much to fish up here. Like, even though as much as I'd like to go down to Minnesota and do some fishing, there's so much here to fish. Do you think Jay and John Hoyer have a shot at winning KWO? Well, John Hoyer's a pretty good fisherman, and then Jay, he's an okay fisherman. They definitely have a shot for sure, I would say. Have you fished Dauphin River or Fairford River before? I've never fished either of those lake or the areas. No, I have not, Mark. I have not. Ever going to get to Cormorant? Yes. Who's James? I want to go to Cormorant this year. I want to go fish pike there. Yes, tell James to contact me. I want to go fish pike, a cormorant this year. I can't spell it. Oh, well, no wonder I couldn't pronounce it because I can't. That's amazing. So it's Winnebagosh. That's deadly. Why do we have such good luck with bottom bouncers when everyone else seems to use jigs? We try switching to jigs and catch less fish. It's probably just what you've mastered and what you become good with, right? Like, there's no doubt, like, anytime you spend more time doing a certain style of fishing, you're going to get better with that certain style. So you've probably like mastered the art, right? Or got close to it of using bottom bouncers, whereas jigs, you're still fresh at doing it. Like, I know for sure when the fishing's on, I will outfish a bottom bouncer every single day with a jig because you're fishing so much more, like, it's quicker, right? It's like right there, bottom bouncers reel in, put bait on. Now when fishing slower and you got to search for them, then the bottom bouncers are probably the better option, right? Where it's all about keeping your bait in the water longer. So basically, like I said, to answer your question is you probably just got like really good at it and just haven't got good at jigging yet. So try jigging when the bite's really on. Like, say if you're trolling your bottom bouncers and you're going over one spot a few times and it's happening, stop there and try jigging, right? So the best leader is a chain. James Neves owns the lot. I gotta take a shot of that. Yes, I want to go to Cormorant so bad. I'm gonna take a shot of that right there. Okay, James, I'm gonna be contacting James right there. Let's celebrate their first super on live stream. Let's celebrate with a shot from Lester. Will you be fishing the Red River at all this year? Possibly. I think if I do, I think I might come for that tournament this year that Eric always puts on. The catch and release one. I could see coming for that. Cheers for the super chat, Lester. Thank you very much. Would you rather fish on a lake or a river? Probably a lake because I just know them more, I'd say. Me and Dad are going to Duck Lake, so I need to know what lure to use for largemouth bass. Ned rig. I'm the last guy to ask about bass fishing, my friend. I know very, very little about bass fishing, but I do love bass fishing. Have you ever been to Dory Lake, Saskatchewan? I have not, but I know they got some big walleyes up there right now. When you troll with mono, do you put a fluoro leader? I still do put a fluoro leader on. I don't know if it's necessary, but I do put a fluoro leader on still. Caught 87 walleyes on Winnie last week. That's impressive. In one day or the whole week? 87 walleyes in one outing is really good. Chatterbaits are excellent for bass too. See, this is the best part, Tyler. You can ask a question. There's people in this chat that know more about bass than I do, and they can help you out with some good lures for sure. I love it. Any tips on finding walleye? New lakes without depth charts, maps. Use your sonar and try to find some drop-offs. Start near points always. Like, points are a great starting location. I can't think of a lake out there that I don't know where like the main lake point doesn't hold fish, right? So go to a main lake point, find some drop-offs, find a point that, like an underwater point, right? If it's a point of the lake, but it's just a straight down drop-off, no good. Find something that like extends into the lake. something like that, right? Like that'd be the first thing I'd start on any lake that I've never gone to before. Is probably like points, and then I'd transition over into some like shoreline, looking for transition from rocks to sand. So use your side view, your side imaging, and look for that transition line where you have like rocks to sand. If it's just all sand, then you can see the fish on side imaging or side view quite easily as well. If you got those rocks, they're harder to see in it. So the best thing you can do is like drive around for the first hour of the day and just kind of go through the lake and drop some waypoints down of like areas that you saw fish or areas that you think could be fishy, and then go back, right? Like I really need to do a video like that where I go to a lake for the first time ever, and then I'll just drive around for the first hour maybe more, and yeah, and figure it out from there. That's like all those bass guys when they go out fishing a brand new lake, that's what they do for the first days. They just drive around and look at the lake. Excuse me. Our Humminbird Helix 12 is worth the money. Depends what you're going to use it for. I have a 10 that I like just as much. A rod. Clay does not have Facebook anymore. Yes, I don't have Facebook anymore. Ooh, a drink. My Facebook got hacked in October, and I've never been able to get it back. I just gave up. So yeah, I just quit. I quit. I said, you know what? Facebook, take a hike. I'll use Instagram and YouTube. How come you don't fish Round Lake? I haven't fished Round Lake for a few years, but I used to fish Round Lake quite a bit back in the day when I was young. How do you like being the best fishing YouTuber? I don't think I'm the best fishing YouTuber at all. I appreciate that you think that I am, but that's not like how I view it for sure. But I do appreciate that you think like that. I'm very happy in the situation that I am, that I can make videos for a living. So that I'm very happy about. My most versatile lure I've used on the river was, I got the window open. The mosquitoes are coming in. What's the best? That's what the best YouTuber would say. That's funny. What's your go-to pike casting rod? I've been really liking the Elliott rod I've been using. I haven't done a lot of pike fishing yet right now, so I don't have it fresh in my head, but it's a moderate heavy. Oh, what is it here? We'll just look. Like we have the internet. I go to the garage and grab it too. But this will be easy to find because I know where to find it. Elliott rods right here. It's actually on sale because I don't know if they're discontinuing it at all. So I'm going to put it in here. Mag heavy. Yeah, it's only $199. It was on for, it used to be, this is American, but it used to be $299. I'm going to be choked if I put this on the chat and then all the rods are gone. Right there. That's my favorite. That's my favorite pike rod right now. 7.9 mag heavy, moderate fast. That thing is deadly. Like it's so versatile. I can use it for the blades that I was throwing. I can use it for swim baits. Yeah. St. Croix are pricey, but it's worth it. Yeah, the St. Croix rods, there's obviously Drew and chat. Yeah, we'll do some kind of giveaway in the members only chat. I don't know what it is yet. We'll do some kind of giveaway in there. You bet. I'll put some. Actually, I do know what I want to do. I'll put something together. Two brothers were acquired by Acme. That's the sale reason. Oh no, that rod was on for sale before they even were acquired. I just know that they might not be making that rod anymore. Yeah, it's a really good rod. I see there's some other ones here right now. A 7.9 heavy. Anyways, they make such good rods. I'm so happy with the Elliott and 2B rods. Very, very happy. PB Walleye is a 13.60 pounds. Best length is 32.5. Who's going to get engaged first, Carter or Clayton? Somebody said it. Brandon said, who's going to get engaged first, Carter or Clayton? Carter. Cindy says Carter. Adam knows 32.5, 13.6. That's amazing. My PB carp is a common carp at 22 pounds. That's big. What's your preferred Elliott rod for walleye? You know what my favorite rod for walleye is right now? The Identity series walleye spinning rod. The jigs and plastics. This rod right here, 610, medium light, extra fast. I'll link it here. This rod, this is $375. This one's not cheap. This is my preferred walleye rod right now. This thing is deadly for plastics. Like, so happy with that rod. I started using it this year, and end of last season and this year. That rod is so good, so good. I feel like at some point I should do like some of these live chats for like dedicated, just like certain things, like talk about the rod series or something like that. Maybe I'll do something like that. Then I seen that grass, carpy grass. I saw a few monster grass carp at this pond. They were all over 40 and couldn't catch them. Did you try grass for bait then? That's funny. How do you fish walleyes during a bug hatch? I just, well, making fish tacos. Downsize a little bit or just keep fishing. They got to eat, right? Like, I don't know. Obviously, like a mayfly hatch um, can be tough to catch them on, but I don't really change a lot, to be honest. Just left Last Mountain Lake a couple hours ago. And how was it? Give me a Last Mountain Lake update. Carter and I are going fishing somewhere this week. We just haven't decided whether we're going pike fishing or walleye fishing. Can I do a poll? Engage with your audience. Start a poll. Should Carter and I pike fish or walleye fish? Pike, walleye. We're gonna go try to film a video together. What should we fish for? We're gonna start a poll right there. We've got a poll for 10 minutes. Should we go do a video together for pike or for walleye? Right there. That's gonna decide what we go fish for the day. Clayton, let's do a trip. San Diego, some tuna fishing. Oh my goodness. Tuna. And then we can have original fish tacos. I love fish tacos. I haven't tried fish tacos before. Are they any good? I got a Father's Day and birthday with the same week, so that rod for walleye top of my list. Mark, that rod for casting plastics and stuff or jigs is so good, like so good. I'm trying to think, like if you sent me a message on Instagram and tell me like exactly what you want the rod for, I tell you which one to buy. But that jigs and plastics one like is so nice. It says it's an extra fast action, but I feel like it's like in between a fast and extra fast. It's such a sensitive tip. It keeps fish still buttoned. It loads nice. Yeah, I was very, very happy with that one. That's a good one. Like that's been one of my favorites for sure. Trolling Laker video. I'd like to make a Laker trolling video at some point. I've never done it just for the fact where I don't even know why I've never done it. I just need to, right? I don't know, because I do like to troll for Lakers. It's something I don't do as much. A lot of it just became that I like the active style of fishing where I'm like casting for them, jigging for them, etc. But I do need to make a video trolling for them at some point. Clayton Chick, a voice in my head is always telling me, make me proud. Make me proud. Show how to fillet a northern. I have done it. I have done that. I have showed the best example probably on the internet, not to sound cocky, on how to clean a pike. I've seen some recently that are horrible. And if you want to see how to clean a pike the proper way, right here, Catch and Cook Northern Pike, right here. I'll link it and send it to you right there. There's how to clean a northern pike. Watch that video right there. Jets, Flames, or Oilers fan? Go Oilers. Go Oilers. You did a lead core one. I've never done lead core for Lakers. I have for walleye, but I've never done a lead core for lake trout before yet. Try using the 3/4 ounce blue and silver little clue. Yeah, your pike fillet video is top notch. Awesome. Glad you've seen that one. Would you recommend the Drama Queen frostbite for Laker fishing through the ice? Yeah, the Drama Queen's good. I'd say the Drama Queen works good. I'd say, though, if you're going to fish some smaller baits at times, I'd use the Mr. Big, though. The only thing where the Drama Queen lacks is, like, say, like with a smaller bait, like a 1/2 ounce tube jig, something like that. It's really good for the rattle baits where the fish can throw them easier, and it's also really good for keeping fish buttoned. The Mr. Big's probably my most preferred rod from them is the Slugger, and then the Mr. Big, and then the Drama Queen. But they all do work for sure. The Drama Queen, if you're going to pair it or you're going to do some bait fishing with it as well, like for pike tip ups, is a good combination there. I just bought one of those Elliott pike rods because of this chat. That's awesome. I hope they have a bunch of sales tomorrow. I was like, why is this rod selling out? That's awesome. That pike rod is so good. And I use that rod for jigging for Lakers too. It's pretty versatile. That's awesome. Have you fished Dory Lake? I have never fished Dory Lake. I need to. That's the thing. There's no best bait for a particular body of water. I'd rather try and match the hatch what the fish are feeding off. Right? Like anytime I go fishing somewhere and I'm like, this is what I'm going to use today. This is what I'm going to do. This is the video I want to make. And it doesn't happen. And I'm scrambling, and you have to figure out something else, right? And do something different. So yeah, it never fails where it's like, you have to let the fish dictate what you're going to do for that day. I've given up on like really saying, okay, I'm going to go out and make a video on this specific technique because yeah. See how the lighting is like getting lower and the camera quality changes in here? You ever fish with subscribers? I haven't yet, but I need to at some point. I have done a tournament where I took a young angler in a tournament, the AYA ones a couple years ago. We made a little video on that at Lake of the Prairies. So I have done some stuff with subscribers, but not enough though. Best drive to Lake Lodge in Saskatchewan, Amisk Lake, T&D Camps. That one right there, best drive to Lake in my mind. It's so good. Are you going to check out the new Pine Point Lodge at Athapap? I might have to at some point. I might have to. I was talking with, oh my goodness, Ben about it and stuff like that. So I would like to get there at some point. Do rods easily break if not handled carefully? You bet. If you don't handle a rod properly, a lot of rods break because people reel them too close to the end of the tip of their rod and then try to like lift it in the boat. A lot of rods break because they're way up in the air. It's called a high stick, where if the rod's bending at an angle it shouldn't. So rods can definitely break for sure. And usually the more expensive the rod, the easier it can break. The cheap rods, like the ugly sticks that are like have zero sensitivity to them. There's obviously ugly sticks that I'm sure that do have sensitivity, but the ones that don't with that like white tip at the end, those things are almost unbreakable. You can do anything with them. But at the same time, try to fish a 1/8 ounce jig with that. It's just impossible. So there's certain times for, certain rods are better than others. Carter, it looks like we're pike fishing. 62% to 38%. I don't know, Carter. It looks like we're going pike fishing. Your thoughts on Mac Mulligan moving to Viking Lake Lodge or Viking Lodge? No thoughts on it at all. I obviously wish the best for Mac, whatever he's doing, right? Like, yeah. What's your opinion on the Garmin side view to the Humminbird you used before? I always was told that like the Mega Sight imaging, this Mega SI is like the best out there, and you can't be beat it and can't be stopped. It's the best side imaging. And then I use the side view from Garmin, and maybe they just got this new transducer recently. Maybe that's part of it, but I was very impressed with it. Like, and I've used it for 2 videos now, one that's out already and one that I'm editing, but I was really impressed with the side view from Garmin. Like, honestly, it like looked exactly the same. Switch it up to pike. I know I tried to film a pike video. The next video I have coming out, which is tomorrow. I have a video coming out tomorrow, Wednesday. I went pike fishing for 7 hours, and then I finally went walleye fishing because I didn't catch anything. It was tough. So yeah. I was looking at my rods the other day and I realized I have 5 ugly sticks. That's amazing. Ugly sticks work for certain applications, right? Like, yeah. You seem to dial it in. Good to know. Yeah, I honestly, the side view too that I was using, I pretty much just did all like default settings. I didn't really even like mess with it that much. That was like all default settings for it. So I haven't even played with like the gain or contrast or anything like that. I didn't even look at it. I literally just like put it out to 65 feet and I was like, this looks awesome. So, and I also put it on the blue color. What brand is the best auto charting? I've only ever used the Humminbird auto chart stuff yet, so I can't even answer that question honestly. Carter says walleye. Carter wants to go for walleye pretty bad, so He might end up winning that one. I might save pike fishing might come more into August and September. It's possible. I don't know yet. We'll see. Carter's in love with walleyes though. So we'll see. Carter gets the final decision. Yeah. And honestly, it's probably easier for me to go walleye fishing right now than pike fishing, just because I'm packing a bunch of pike stuff away for when I go guiding. So the walleye stuff isn't coming with me. So yeah, we'll see. We shall see. Nobody can blame him. And the walleye's making a comeback slowly. That's awesome. Make it a ratio, Carter for walleye, Clay for pike. Well, that would be funny. Carter hasn't. I don't think he's been on round yet. He needs to get there though. Walleye in Carter's boat. I'll put you on them. No, we're going to my boat, Carter. Carter, I have 2 live scopes. We're going to my boat. Pike not only fight better, but they taste better. I'll agree with both of those statements. Pike do taste better, and they definitely fight better. They do. 50 cents for pike now, 40% for walleye, Carter. Going to a Cusco this year? Very possible. I need to get up there. I love Cusco. Love it. Well, anyways, it's an hour. We're going to go. I have to close this window too because mosquitoes are coming in. We got to put a screen on this one. Yeah, Carter's rigging the boat. Going around on Sunday, taking McKenna's dad fishing. There you go for Father's Day. You're a good stepson, not stepson, son-in-law. You're a good son-in-law. I love it. This is a democracy. I love it. Thank you guys all for hanging out. We're gonna have a members chat here as well. I see like mostly members are the ones asking all the questions right now. So you guys can keep the questions coming here. We're gonna have a members chat here. I'm just gonna take a quick break and we'll fire up another one in about 5 minutes. So thanks for hanging out, everybody. I don't know when the next live chat will be because I take off guiding for a couple weeks. Maybe I'll try to do one in my truck or something like that. We'll see, or I can possibly do one up at the lodge one evening there if the internet is good enough. So thanks everybody for hanging out. You guys are the best. Cheers.